Hey everybody, thanks for stopping in the garage, and in this episode we got a pretty cool Lawnboy from between 2005 2007. It's industrial, well, commercial, right? Commercial grade Lawnboy, and we're going to try to get this thing running again. I have some things I want to do with it. It's a mess, but it's not that bad, but it's commercial, so it's been rode real hard. Stay tuned for this one. In the first episode, we're going to go through the mower and we're going to check it out, try to get it running, see what we have to work with. And the second episode, we'll finish it up, and we're going to be doing a valve job, backyard valve job, and a few other things to the engine, and try to get this thing really back to where it's a usable machine again. So stay tuned and let's check this thing out. Hey guys, I'm over here in the lawnmower. See, well, one of them. There's another one buried over there. I want to clean out a little bit. I want to get to a Lawnboy. There's a particular Lawnboy over there that I want to do. There's actually two of them. Well, there's all of them, but I only want one, maybe two right now. The only way to get to that is to sort of move some of the rows over. I can't move this big old Craftsman tractor right now. So let me see what I can do. Let's just start moving up some stuff and see if we can get to those old Lawnboys over there. All right, what do you guys think? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the ones over here, I think we can fix. And I'm gonna get you in close with these two Lawnboys. But this is the one I wanna work with. The Lawnboy Briggs Stratton Commercial Duty. It was missing this, so I grabbed it off another machine. It needs a cable. We got a broken cable, which I think one of the other machines will yield. Of course, it's Briggs & Stratton, so that should be an easy fix. I'll probably keep this one around because I have some things I'd like to do with it. It's a push machine. This is an older Commercial, and I just literally broke this cable down here. But the ignition cable works, the engine bail. So one of these should provide that. I think this bail works. And this is dead. Somebody's been welding on this. Somebody's been making all kind of love with it. You got all of it over there. We'll get a better look at later, but we've got potential parts. All right, this one I cleaned last year, so we're ready to actually pull the top off in a little bit and get in a little bit deeper. But this one over here, I don't know if I'm going to sell it or keep it. It's pretty neat. Look at that. I love the blade system they have on it. That's the Commercial. So it looks like it's pretty good. Like it's not all beat up. Got some dirt in here. So that's why I'm gonna just give it a quick wash and then we'll take it apart. This one, she's in pretty nice shape. Like I said, we'll get it on the table and we'll get a better look in a little bit. It's got more of a standard blade, doesn't have the mulching chopper thing. I don't know which one I want to use. This one, I want to mow down the garden, and this one's probably a better choice. One, because it's Briggs. And two, it doesn't have a drive mechanism that might get all screwed up from the muck and the mire in there. Because once I get this one with the mechanism going, right, do you really want to stick that in the garden and in all the dirt and the gook and screw this up? I say maybe not, right? Because that's what's going to happen to it. Let's just give this a wash. Not too bad, our gross air filter. Let's put these back. Pretty crusty in there, but it has the correct date code on it. We got to clean this up, so it needs it. All right, I'm going to shove some rags in the carb, something in there, and then we'll turn it on its side and we'll get the blade off. We've got a bent wheel over there, but who cares about that, right? It's not that bad. We'll fix that. Talk about heavy-duty blade, huh? That's going to be perfect for grinding up my garden stuff and rough-duty purposes. And you know what? I know people say, you'll see when I do it. You'll be like, oh no, Archie, what are you doing? You know what? Better that I have this thing and I'm using it than it just sitting. All right, pretty happy, pretty excited here. I finally managed to cordon off a little block of time. All right, let's see what we can get done today. Everything's pretty much here. So we're gonna get everything cleaned up. Now, we're not gonna restore it yet, guys, because I gotta use it. And I gotta say, I don't have this paint yet. I'm a little broke, right? A little tight for cash right now, but I also have a few other Lawnboys to do. So I do want to restore it, and I do want to get it working correctly. But first, let's get it working correctly. Let's dig into this thing. Let's just start off with the usual. Let's pull the carburetor off first. How's this thing held on? It's like snapped on. Yeah. Oh, check this out. Where do you see this? Yeah, look at that. It's got a clip. Let me get to the other one. Check this out. It's got something in it. It's got some kind of fuel in it. So how about I want to dump it. Let's get some lubricant. This is just 2-stroke, but we could also use the other stuff that I like to use. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll take it off over here. We'll put new fuel line on it, but let's just see. I want to keep the length because this is the length that seems to work. So right now we got this ready to go. So I don't know what's in here, but it stinks a bit. But we could use it for cleaning up. What I want to do is we'll take the carburetor off, and then I want to empty this. We're going to take a look inside, and I want to most likely wash this out with some detergent and a hose. And I want to go clean it, and then it's not particularly sunny out today, but we want to get a chance for it to dry so that a little bit later we can test this thing out. Now, because we have a lot of work to do, so if I do that first. Now this is a primer bulb style plate, but imagine it's probably pretty dirty inside, and you may even be suffering from the usual primer bulb issues. All right, so this is an interesting hose, and it's a bit damaged. I don't have another one, so we're going to have to tape this or something. Maybe put a little RTV on it and just kind of put it in place with some small tie wraps and let the RTV set up. That needs to be cleaned. The bulb seems fine, but we'll clean that out later. And then we're going to spark test. Now, the engine bail cable's no good. So, after I clean the tank, I think we're going to go see if one of those other machines that I was working with might work. Now, I see a problem. I'm going to get you guys in. See a problem right away. All right, so we're good here. Here's where the O-ring is. This is the nice heavy carburetor too. I feel it. I feel it. It's a nice older heavy carb. Now I want to get you in. This tube is broken. We have other tubes. I'm probably going to have to make a gasket. Let me show you. I've never seen a crack here, but it is cracked there, so that tube needs to be replaced. That's the one I always tell you guys to tighten up and to check to make sure it's cracked and not cracked. Usually it's cracked back further, like underneath here, but it's cracked there, so there's no way that was working right. Let's take a peek inside the tank. Maybe you can see in there with me. It's just a little dirty, but it looks like it might... Yeah, we're going to rinse this with the hose. Let's get it really clean. It's just sloshing around. It stinks. So let me go empty this. We'll take a look at what's in there, and then I want to put it away. Let's see what's in here. Oh. Oh, no, that stinks. Oh, God. Okay, all right, guys, I gotta go. Let me get this outside. Let me get some super clean in that. Let me put this in the disposal tank. I'm out of here. Oh, jeepers. That's rank. All right, guys, good rinse, and I blew it. Now, I want to get some fresh gas in here and then leave it outside in the wind. It's kind of cold today. But I want to show you guys, I always tell you guys to blow out the gas caps. And so I'm just going to clean this out, put it back together again. It's in good shape, but it's got dirt in it. So I'll do that, then we'll put gas in it and blow the gas out, and I'll leave it sit outside while we work on the rest of the machine. So we could use this for sizing. Clamps are good. Man, that really stunk. Oh, that just stunk so bad. Let me just move this off the table. So this is the O-ring. It's kind of hard. And it looks like it's been damaged, see? Yeah, it's no good. Gotta get another one. Now this stinks. I gotta hurry up, guys. And look, it's dented here, but it looks like it's okay, but... Oh, God. It stinks. Oh, this is so rank. All right, we gotta get this apart. Oh, it's rank. It's not in bad shape. right, I'll be back in a minute. Let me get this out of here. Yeah, it's a little rank. Still, pour a little bit of lacquer thinner on everything and just start brushing it just to try to loosen up stuff. It's mostly just gummed up, so it looks like we're okay. That's not bad. Let me just blow it. Low pressure air. That looks good. Okay, got that. All right, good. This guy here. Let's do what I usually do, which is just take a wire brush and I hold it like down here. And I just grab my wire brush, and the lacquer thinner will really remove everything too. We'll spray some gum out in it. It looks pretty good. Let's poke something at it. Now it should be about 28 thousandths or so, which is about this size. I always forget what it is, but here on Long Island, right, this is the size for, because we're just a couple feet above sea level, so it's maximum air, maximum pressure. Yeah, she's stuck. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're gonna have to pass a drill in that. And or soak it. It's definitely, you would think it would be. We'll get back to that. Let's put a little lacquer thinner in there and let it sit for a bit while we work on the rest of it. Just keep sloshing around. We'll pass a little drill bit in it, and I have others. So if we get the size wrong, now that's been damaged. Yeah. So let's see. Let me see if I have another bowl. There's the gasket. Here it comes. I think we got it. They're usually quite durable, but they do go bad. I gotta remember to order these. Yeah, it's in good shape. All right, let's put that to the side. So I'm gonna find another one of these. I'm not gonna bother cleaning it. I should have another one. How's this gasket, this O-ring seal? Can we just get it up and we loosen it? Sometimes I leave them on because they're sealed this way, but I think it's just so much goop. I mean, we'll reuse it if it's okay. Okay. Take a bit of Scotch-Brite. We don't want to leave it sit in lacquer thinner, that's for sure. So usually I'll pull them through a little bit of Scotch-Brite, and while I'm doing this, if it comes apart, right, it's no good. But if it survives that, yeah, she looks okay. Looks okay. Let's take a little bit of our tranny fluid mix, because transmission fluid's good for this stuff. Remember, transmissions, there's nothing but these things in there, tons of them. So we're going to put that to the side. And now we'll just take our wire brush. We'll go around that seal area. It looks pretty good. Sometimes I have to go with a screwdriver, but it looks real good. I'm just taking my razor blade and I'm just carefully removing this gasket. Well, we're going to do something else too before we're done cleaning it. She looks good, but because it's push prime, we need to get a gasket on it. Okay, here's one of the vents. It's a controlled hole on some of them. It's got a metered, and it just doesn't feel like it's open at all. There's a very fine hole in that. That's got me worried. Hold on. All right, these are from the Tecumsehs. They're little retaining clips, and they fit in a lot of these things. Yeah, see? It's going in. It's a very small hole. They really made that one small. Okay, and then we'll take one of these, and we got to poke in there. The bigger one, just to knock anything off. Now we're going to blow some gum out in it. That looks like it's a little nasty. If it doesn't work, yeah, it had some nasties in there. Well, we have other carburetors, but it looks like it's getting the gook out. I always like to save these Get up underneath. There's a little cover plate here. It's like a baffle plate. It's just a baffle. Get up underneath that. Let me blow it. All right, let's take a little bit of that and take a Q-tip, and we want to go. That looks like that might be gacked. So, again, that's another thing I got to get. I don't have any more. But other than that, it looks pretty clean. Yeah, I think it might be bad because look, it's picking up some of the rubber. We'll test it. It feels like it's clogged. It might have deteriorated, guys. Yeah, it might have. It kind of look in there. Let me blow it. Doesn't want to come out. Oh, there's a hole is back though. We cleared it. We'll have to see. Let's just put a little poker in, a small one. Feels like it might be okay. Yeah, let's put some of that in there and then blow it. It's not too bad. I'll have to see. It might be okay. They're pretty durable. Let's see. All right, this is 026. And that goes in. And I definitely feel, it feels like a little bit of the varnish is in there. Let's bring it out a little bit more because that's actually kind of small. I'll go a little bit more in my kit. I do have others, and like I said, I have other carburetors, but as a starting point, and because that oxidation, and not to mention, well, the gum, right, from old fuel, that's mostly varnish. So we need a little bit of mechanical work to clear it. I'll tell you what size this is in a second. I forgot to tell you. The next size up, which is probably 28 thousandths, which is typically where I want to be. Yeah, she's doing good. You know, we've removed material, just ever so little. Yeah, that feels better. All right, let me blow it. That should do it. Yeah, 0.028 thousandths of an inch. You can get these online. This kit I've had forever. When I went to find this kit, it's back when I was drilling out Hollies and carburetors and hot rod days, and that was, what, late 80s and 90s? There was nothing online. You had to go to a machinist supply. All right, now let's put you down. Put you in. Looks pretty good so far. I think we caught it. Now, oh, I almost forgot. Let me go find a bowl and another one of those O-rings, and we also need the tube. So let me just see if I have a bowl. And we got a bowl. This is super sweet. It's clean. A little earlier. This is the early bowl. These are a little heavier. If you get a leak, what you can do is you can take them, put them like that, and just very lightly, with more of like a flat bottom screwdriver, just like that, very lightly. Just be careful. And if it's already leaking, right, it could be from that. Certainly check your gasket. And again, I like to use all my 1/4-inch drives. These are small engines, so in many cases, the 1/4-inch drive is what you want. All right, that feels good. Now, this should seal, but if we have a problem, we'll come back and we'll machine this down. Now, let's just test the carb first. Blow into it. It's upside down. It's sealed. Let's go right side up. Seems to be working. So the float is working, and it's sealing on the needle. just take a little bit of this grit, which is like 80, and just hold it flat. Okay, a little bit off over there, but this is where we want the seal anyway. Yeah, see, she's still a little warped. All right, that's good enough. Let's polish it on the 220. And now I'll remove the last little bit. Usually a circular motion is fine. We'll break it up a little. That's good, okay? It's really here where the seal needs to be. We'll just give it a blow. And we'll take some of our two-stroke, or this got the training fluid in it again. We'll put a little lubricant. The last time it's going to see that. Throttle shaft is good. Everything is good. I got to blow this out, the debris that's on it. All right, let's go move to the motor. We're done with the carburetor for now. All right, I got a cable here that I think will work. So it's got this plastic thing up here, and I've seen this on some other machines. So we got to get that out, which isn't easy. Now, it's kind of like it's snapped on, but I don't think we really want to fool with that. Let's take it out, bring it down, and see if we can. I want to be careful with these plastic things because they can, you know, they pass away. And I have this cable, which is similar. And if I have to drill a hole, I'll drill a hole, but it's about the right length. Let me see what I can do. So I tried a bunch of different cables and none of them are working out. I want to show you, see these gears in here, right? Because it can come from either side. Now we can replace this if we have an issue. What I'm putting in is a new cable, and it's a cable that I used to usually keep some extras, but this one's kind of to like replace the new Kmart, Wall Bounds, you know, Lowe's, Depot, Walmart, right, crappies. The cable doesn't come up that high, so they could short you on a little bit on the sheath, right? This exposes. This is the same thing that went wrong on the last customer. It got damaged. Probably when he took it out of his car or something. I don't know what he did. Anyway, that guy was an ass. So we kind of just like to do is I put the screwdriver in there, and you want to make sure that the trigger for the switch is far enough back, and hopefully you can see it. This camera doesn't like to focus on too many things like shiny or like this. It's far enough out of the way. You put the cable on, pull the bail all the way back, and then kind of pull the cable taut and put a mark. I use my square and I transfer it over to this side, and I like to use the letter K. It's kind of like a 1/4 inch drill bit, but I find K works the best. It's just big enough and just tight enough. Now, we're going to pass it through there and let's see what happens. Let me drill that out. All right, this will have to work for now. All right, it's definitely working. It's engaging the switch, but we're going to test that. It's kind of like you can't put this underneath this bracket because it'll cause this to bind. It won't really work. But watch, right? It's definitely working. It feels nice. It's nice and smooth, but it tightens up and it kind of lifts a little bit on the tank, and it's tension, and I don't like that. It's cheesy, but good enough for now. All right. If I find another cable, I'll try another cable. I might have another one outside, but it's nasty out. Let me see. We got to test the motor now. Okay, plug is out. We got the ultra chunky model. Yeah, that's not good. All right, let's put another plug on. Let's get our training fluid mix in here and let that drink it up. Let that kind of do its business. All right, let's spin it over. Let's do a compression test, and we'll do a spark check. All right, let's spark check it. I'll yell it out. Oh, we got good spark. You guys want to see it? Hold on. All right, I'm going to yell it out. Now, you can't see it anyway because these valves, right, they go bad for me putting all the stuff in there and all the junk. And you can't get them. I looked. They're not tire valves. For a little while, I thought they were, but you know what? They're low pressure cracking point, the springs. And you just can't get them, right? If you put a tire valve in there, it won't work, right? It won't. All right, not a lot, guys. We got about 25 pounds, all right? So it's not a lot. I'd like to see, Briggs says 40. Now, it might be that we could replace this engine with something better. Here, let me show you. I want to get you guys on a side view. Let me go look at my inventory. That's a decent sized shaft, but it almost looks like there's a taper right here, or it could just be, let me see. That's a long shaft, but yeah, see, it's about a 1-inch shaft. That's the bigger shaft, which should be. It's also up on a riser. All right, they have, let me put it down, I'll show you. That's an aluminum riser. So that should be okay. So you have to take off the bolts here. Hopefully they come off because they're going into aluminum. And then the motor would come off, and then it's on aluminum riser. You have to take the riser off. So worst case, we'll have another motor for it. Yeah, see the riser? It's on a platform. And you want to hope that these don't snap. I mean, we'd have to drill them out because we need that riser. I don't care so much if they snap on the engine. How much oil's in it? Is there any oil in it? Yeah, it's really black and mungy. That's black. Oh my God, and it's really bad. Yeah. But it's not like I don't have other motors that we could just pop on this thing. Because at 25 PSI, that's kind of beat. Yeah, she don't want to come off. I'm gonna want to bend that. The more I think of it, it's like, yeah, and commercial too. So that like never happens. It's so rusted, it's cooking on there. You look at it, see the smoke? It's getting hot. That like never happens. I say I'm gonna go. I think we should go in the basement and go see if I have something for this and just part the motor out. We got a good carburetor, or might be a good carburetor. Is she pretty tired? Well, it didn't spin. Doesn't look like it. Let me show you guys. I'll get you in. Then we'll put it back. Maybe we'll put a little bit of juice in there, a little two-stroke. I bet you she's going to smoke, though. That's the thing. I'd like to keep this. I'd say at 25 PSI, even if it has like an easy pull setup on it, where it has like an automatic compression release, that's not a lot. Let me think. I'm interested to see. So it's a 1-inch shaft, just like this guy. And this guy looks pretty good. I didn't write anything on it, but we can go test it. Everything looks good. It's pretty clean. I cleaned it up. I usually pull these things off. This is a 1-inch shaft, and it is about almost 2 3/4. So this I see here is about 2 1/2 right to the back of this mounting flange. So I say let's take this off. Yeah, that's it. And I can see what's inside of this flange is about a 1/2 inch. So a 2 1/2 to about a 1/2 inch. It's almost 3 inches, so it's a little under a total of 3 inches. I wonder if it's like a little bit longer than that. A little bit is fine because we have adjustments. So I think we're okay. Now, let's go get the fixture outside for testing motors. Let's put this one in. It feels like it's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I usually take nice ones. You guys know how I am, some of you guys. So, yeah, let's go find out. Let's do a compression test. Normally I write it on here. All right, let's go do that. We'll check spark too, but I just want to see I'll finish up tomorrow. I'm getting tired. It's late. But bail is pulled back. We wired. It's wired. And let's see. Oh yeah. Already lost about 60 pounds. And that's with out of valve working. So that's better, right? I've seen them higher, but that's better. Let's just fire off the spark plug now and see. Oh yeah, nice one too. All right, tomorrow's another day.
Day 2.
All right, so a couple of days later, I've been letting it just drain out whatever was in there, so whatever clumps came out. We can put some gas into the crankcase and stir it around, and that'll help get rid of the junk. We can also put some. We're going to put some used oil in there. I cleaned all around the dipstick and the bottom of the dipstick. There's usually a lot of junk that gets caught up in the lock area and up here, you know, in this part of the cap of the dipstick. You know, this whole lock area. Let's check these bolts and see if they're tight. Let's see if we can get a wrench on them. Usually it's the exhaust, so I just want to see. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get. I don't know how this comes off. I'll have to look to see. So this one needs a little bit. All right, we'll try to work with the motor. I think you guys might be interested to see if this thing will wake up. That was a little bit loose. Not bad. Now we don't know if these bolts are turning. They could be galled in and oxidized in. When you look at all the oxidation on this thing, there's another bolt underneath here. Let's just see what we can get to. Yeah, that needed a little bit. Yeah, we can't get to that one. I'm going to clean the ignition. I'm going to and also replace this tube, intake tube. I think that's our next step. Let's see if this thing will start. We can put the carburetor on it after we get the tube on. We'll get all this nice and cleaned up, and we'll take it outside and see if it just runs. I think that's our best bet. This way I don't get into breaking bolts right away, right? Because, you know, the bolts might come out. But if they don't, right, then what? We know we have a good motor as a backup. All right, we'll just run this on the wire wheel, and we'll make sure, because I could see already, right, the connection is, you know, definitely jeopardized by all the rust getting between the two surfaces. So that tube was broken there. Yeah, let me get you in there and I'll show you. We'll put a little of our gas with the transmission fluid stuff in this area. And that'll maybe loosen it up a little bit. It's been sitting with some of this stuff in there. And we'll put the, I was cleaning this. I want to clean this with the wire wheel as well, because I tried putting this back on. The threads won't go. You know, it was tough getting that off, if you remember. So I think a good wire wheeling should clean that up. And we must just do all of that. So let me get started on that. Does anybody know what I did with my impact? What'd you guys... I'm tired today, so this is actually a good project for me. When I'm tired, beat, my back is starting to bother me. Oh, I almost moved before, and I was like, uh-oh, that's it. I know what that feels like. Yeah, I'm not happy. No, it cleaned up. It went on. We're all right. We okay. That was close. All right, let's put the tube on. Let me get, my tube's a little bit dirty, my replacement tube. I'm just gonna wipe it off. We'll pop it on. Just remember, these gaskets, guys, they're real brittle. A little bit of RTV. Don't get it in the inside. If you break it, you can make a new one. And of course, the bolts that hold down this, as well as these little guys, put some lube on them. A little bit of oil on everything. You know, stuff's old, and you want to know that you're putting it on. Like this one didn't want to go on, right? All right, we'll take care of that now. All right, so before I continue, I'm going to take about 5 ounces of gas. Put that in there. She's about as empty as she's going to get. And I tried to get out the oil, but it won't all come out because it's stuck. So that's why we're going to do this. And then while we're working on it, it'll give it a chance to sit. While we're working on it, we'll spin it, and in a little bit we'll put oil in, a little bit of used oil. Look at that, that's not tight. What's going on with that? All right, we're gonna have to fix that. That shouldn't be like that. All right, well, we'll come back to that. All right, that should have slapped it around pretty good. Yeah, what's with that? All right, we'll get to that. There's no reading on the dipstick yet, but it is starting to slop around. So just leave that be, and we'll work on the rest. So I got this tube all cleaned up, and I wet the gasket down a little bit as well, right, with our tranny fluid mix, which is great for seals. I'm just got a little bit of oil on these bolts. Just hand tighten them slowly. That's good. Now, what's the deal with this? Because that's going to make a racket. That is just going to make one heck of a racket. Let's pop that back off. A little bit. Yeah. That's all. And then the other thing you can do is flex it this way as well. Right, like this. And that'll help to sort of crush it. So get a little flex that way, and then we'll take this side and we'll bend it down a little bit. It's on there good. That's not going nowhere now. All right, let's put the magnetron on. So I've got it all nice and clean. Just gave it a quick rinse. And so now we'll have good contact. Contact! Also the tang over there, tang. All right, we'll make sure we're getting, everything's got a good connection. And this one, it actually says cylinder side down. And then it says this side out. Put a little bit of oil on our threads. Just gonna snug it, finger snug. Pull it back out of the way. Now with the rust and everything out of the way, not only are we gonna get a good connection to the chassis ground, earth ground, but we get a good, we'll put a 10,000 in, we'll get nice and tight. We'll get a good spark. So we're gonna put our feeler gauge in. Let's see, which one's the magnet? That's magnet. Nice brass feeler gauge. It's already kind of rounded. Loosen them up. Let them pull in. Right? Put your hand on it, a finger on it or two, just to make sure. I'm just going to snug it. And I'll use my 1/4-inch drive with the stubby handle and just put another turn because it's a laminate pack, right? Individual pieces. And that'll make sure it won't come loose. Give it a chance to sort of suck down. That's good. Take my tool back. Right, that's about as tight as I would want to make it. Give it a stir first. This is just some used from a customer. It usually changes oil fairly, quickly. Puts good miles on it, but it's like mostly synthetic. It's dark, but for what we're going to do, we'll start off with just a little bit because I don't want to dilute the gas too much. We didn't put much gas in. Give it a stir. We'll put more in a little bit. I'm gonna go get the carburetor. Let's put the carburetor on. We got a replacement O-ring, which is in nice shape. I'm gonna turn it. Thing's always going this. A lot of times it'll flatten one side, and it'll make the other side will be round. So the round side will usually go in here, and the flat side will be against the flat surface. So turn it around the other way. I put some nice transmission fluid mix that I use. That stuff that was on there. I put that on there the other day. Think about it, it's great because transmissions, what's in a transmission, right? Mostly highly machined surfaces, aluminum and steel, which would rot, and then tons of these O-rings. So the formulation is for that, and there's a lot of detergents in there, and it helps keep the seals. I wouldn't say it won't swell them, it'll keep them from swelling, but it'll kind of tries to keep them their normal size. All right, so we just hung that on there. Make sure all the surfaces are clean. Just gonna put a little of that tranny stuff on here because the threads are all kind of tired, just dirty mostly. And I'm gonna put a tube on that we can connect to something somewhere. And we'll fill the tube up, bring it outside and start it so that it smokes out there. We gotta put more oil in it too. And I wanna spin it again before I add more oil. There's not that much gas in it. Normally I would put maybe 10 ounces of gas, but if we put more oil in it, it'll dilute that gas to just about nothing. But we want it in there. I want to try to get this motor lukewarm, not red hot. I'm not going to put a blade on it yet, so we're not going to have the advantage, the home advantage of blade. So she might run a little rough, because this isn't a really good, it's not like a flywheel for snow machines and stuff. The cast flywheels you can totally run without a blade. The new E-Series engines, right? The new Briggs, they don't like to run without a blade on them. They're just balanced in such a way they'll run so rough they'll make you think there's something wrong with it. So these are more forgiving. Now this feels like it's stuck. Let's get a little oil on that. Start off with our tranny fluid mix. So I think that, yeah, that's better. Which one just pulls more on it? All right, that should be full RPM. If it pulls more on that spring, it should pull against the governor more. Now where can we mount this? Just need a place to kind of, something like that maybe. Just put a little baling wire around that out of the way, and that might be enough, and it's still safe. Yeah, let me do that, and we'll clean a plug, and we'll get a plug in it, and I'll spin it a little bit more. Let me do that now before I forget. Then I'll top off the oil a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, she's cleaning up. Look, you see how it's all up the dipstick, it's splashing it all over. Yeah, it's thin, but it doesn't smell too much like gas because I didn't want to put too much gas in there. But yeah, look at that. Yeah, she's filthy in there. That's all filth. Varnish mostly. All right, I'll spin it again before I put oil in it. Let me get that set up and I'll do the plug and I'll meet you guys back here in a minute. It's a good used plug. It's a nice shape. I just checked the gap. It's about 28 to 30, which is what I like. It's really clean. I put a little no-seize on it. I take some two-stroke to start off with. We're going to fill the bowl with that, and then we'll... She doesn't want to go down. There she goes. That's good. And then we'll run regular gas after this, so she cleans up a little bit. It'll just give it a little bit of help. All right, we'll check for leaks. I don't see anything. Just to be safe. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute. Commercial break. We'll get the throttle on. We should have good ignition power now, good spark. Put a little bit more, we're full. Let's put a little bit in the front here as prime. Yeah, something don't sound right. And notice she's blowing out the carburetor. Let me show you. That's a valve issue or a lifter. Yeah, take a look at that. Okay, see all that? She's got a backfire. It's a nice off. Okay, let's try. It's not going to work because we got a stuck valve. And she's pushing fuel right out. Oh, it might. It's pushing a lot of fuel out. Get it. Well, she woke up. She's still putting a lot out, see? Okay, look at it all. It's all puddled up down here. It's just pushing all the fuel right out. So, although it ran, right, it's down on power, and it'll never really make any RPMs. What we can do now is take a look. It could just be that the valves have got junk on them. She didn't make any real heat. Let's see if we can start it again. Let it run a little bit longer. Using a lot of fuel. Okay, see you all come out. All right, let's bring it back in. We'll pop the head, and if we can get the head off. It's a little bit warmer. There's just gas all over the place because it's puking it all out. But she won't start unless I spray a little bit of hot shot in it. She tries, but she just chokes and gags. Okay, guys, that's it for episode 1. Stay tuned for episode 2. We're going to go over the engine. I'm going to show you guys what I do to deal with the valve reversion, right? This is what we call this reversion. I think I mentioned it a few times in the video where I say recession. It's reversion. So recession and reversion are different. We're going to look at that in the upcoming video. Recession comes from when the valve is hitting the seat, and what's actually happening is the seat is moving backwards, okay? And as it moves backwards, it sinks into the head just a little bit, and so that's receding in, and of course you lose your valve clearance and the valve won't shut. And in the case of the intake, right, you can actually see it, combustion gases coming back through the intake valve and out the carburetor. So carburetors are made to suck, they're not made to blow, and we're going to have to fix that. So stay tuned in this upcoming episode. You're going to see what I do to deal with that. I'll see you guys there, and I hope you stay with me on this project because this one is a lot of fun. A lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I'll see you there.